Mikey,
Yeah, I'm here and I'm kind of pissed. I'm kind of pissed. All right, this
what do
whole thing about me straw manning motherfuckers. Okay, let me tell you what. First of all, I know the motherfuckers in the chat don't know shit about Tribunal Zero. Stick around, you motherfuckers are gonna learn something. Not about Tribunal Zero. You gotta come back for that. But I will say this: this idea of straw manning. Okay, let me tell you something. Your whole thing with IQ. All right, motherfuckers. IQ is not ontology. And get your fucking pens out and take some fucking notes. Okay. Let me explain something to you, motherfucker. A person's IQ, if we want to play this game, is some particular feature about them. Okay. It's like trying to say how long their fucking fingernails grow or how tall they are. It's some particular shit. Okay. Does it go to the core of their fucking being? No. Now, you can say, well, I don't know what it means to go to the core of the being. That's your fucking problem. Go read Heidegger. Yeah, I'm in that fucking mode. I don't give a fuck. Go read Heidegger, bitch. All right. Now, you need to understand the ontological difference. What's the ontological difference? There's a difference between one's essential being, one's basic mode of presencing, and particular features about you in your presencing. That might be a hard difference to understand. Not my fucking problem right now. I'm drunk. Go do the fucking work yourself. Read Heidegger, bitch. All right, now, ontological difference. Okay. Point is, and I'm kind of joking, but I'm giving you shit because you're saying I'm straw manning your shit, and I'm not. Now, okay, you can say, oh, you're straw manning it because you don't understand the robust empirical data we have. Yeah. Well, what about my transcendental data, motherfuckers? Okay. Look, there's basic transcendental ontological structures that all of us human beings have in common. You or Nick Land might just hand wave them away by calling them sameness, but that makes you a fucking dipshit. So maybe you need to understand that sameness or universality is actually part of what makes up the fabric of our being. All of us have aspects of ourselves that are universal, that we share with all other human beings. We have particular shit about us that we have in common with some other human beings while not having in common with others. And then we have singular dimensions of ourselves, things that just make us the singular beings that we are, that we don't share with anybody else. That's our idiosyncratic spark of hexiety, to use the fucking medieval term on you motherfuckers. Okay? We are beings that have to navigate having universal dimensions, particular dimensions, and singular dimensions to who we are. And if you deny one of those three, you're denying the human condition, right? We all have to live with all three of them and navigate what it is to have these three aspects to our being, right? Okay. So IQ has to do with particularity. It's some shit that you have a certain amount of that you have in common with other people because you are good at taking tests and you have a certain ability, to use Nick Land's definition of intelligence, to solve and be good at games. Well, congratulations. Other people have other talents that make them have integrity and have them that gives them something to contribute to the world. And maybe you're sharper than other people in certain aspects. Congratulations, that's great. If you think that somehow that's metaphysics or ontology, then you motherfuckers need to spend some time doing ontology, because that ain't it. It's like trying to define people or classify people in terms of their height or in terms of how long their fucking hair grows or their musical preferences. It's particularistic shit. Ontology goes to the core, the essence of what it is to be a human, what it means to be an inanimate object, what it means to be a number, what it means to be a work of art. And Heidegger was great at this shit. Despite his flaws, he was somebody who thought in terms of modes of being. The artwork doesn't exist in the same way as the human, and the human doesn't exist in the same way as an object, and the object doesn't exist in the same way as a piece of equipment. These are different ways of being. They have their own structures, they exist in their own way, and you need to understand them on their own terms instead of trying to reduce one to the other. For example, if you try to reduce Dasein or a human to the being of an object, you're doing a violence against that person in the very essence of their being. They're not a fucking object, they're Dasein. It's kind of comical if you try to treat an object like a human, But the object ain't going to respond like Dasein. You can try to talk to your fucking lamp, and maybe schizophrenics do this. You can try to talk to your lamp like it's a person. It's not going to fucking be a person. Why? Because it exists in a different way than Dasein. I know this is philosophical shit 101, but you're in philosophy 101 now, motherfucker. So again, get your notepad. All right. So sameness in race. Okay, Nick Land wants to go, oh, the problem with you guys who deny race and want to talk about equality is that you just want to impose sameness on a field of difference. Motherfucker, you do the same thing. You just make 6 of them. Oh, there's white people, and then there's black people, and then there's Asian people, Middle East. What, you do this 6 times? So instead of me just imposing sameness and saying we all got shit in common, you do it with 6 groups. Well, okay, if I really want to champion difference, I'll say we're all singularities, motherfucker. That particularistic shit ain't shit. I'll just say that the 10 billion people on this fucking planet are differences, and that your racial categories are sameness imposed on huge groups of differences, which is to say individual human beings. Why are you going to reduce a black dude to another black dude? Why are you going to reduce a white woman to another white woman? You're imposing sameness. So what? Because you motherfuckers break the sameness down into 6 big groups, you're somehow champions of difference? Get the fuck out of here. That's a bullshit fucking argument. Because I can just take it to the level of the singular and say we're all fucking different. Don't try to categorize me in terms of a fucking race. But the problem is I don't have a problem with sameness because I don't have a problem with universality, but I also don't have an issue with particularity or singularity. You motherfuckers have a pathological reaction to somebody talking about sameness and universality when it's just part of our ontological makeup. Yes, there's universal. Yes, there's particular. Yes, there's singular. And if you motherfuckers think you're going to get outside of that, you're fucking delusional. You have a pathological political reaction rooted in your particular jouissance because you can't think in terms of universality. I can think in terms of particularity. I have no problem. I understand that there are particular groups. There's certain people who have things in common that they don't have in common with other groups of people. That's not a big problem for me to sort through. Big fucking deal. But you guys have a fucking mental breakdown if somebody brings universality or sameness into it. That's your fucking problem to work through, not mine. So look, it works like this. IQ is existential. Now, if you don't know Heidegger, you don't know what that means. I understand. But what it means is some particularistic feature about yourself that doesn't get to the core of your ontological structure. Okay? Existential has to do with the core of your ontological structure, and your structure is made up of different components. Heidegger calls them existentialia. I will list a few of them just for your knowledge. So as a whole, it's being in the world. But then there's being with, there's referential totalities, there's discourse, there's projection, there's Befindlichkeit, or state of mind. There's understanding, spatiality, discourse. I could keep going. Heidegger lists a bunch of these existentials or existentialia in being and time.
Dude, the equiprimordiality of understanding state of mind and discourse as fundamental and as the ontological conditions of things like superficial, non-committal, curiosity, idle chatter, and ambiguity. Like, that's fucking genius. And guess what? That kind of shit is, first of all, it applies to everybody. But second of all, it's not the kind of shit that any of these IQ nerds have ever seen on the internet can wrap their heads around. This is why I threw Walt Bismarck under the bus. Because it's like, I listened to the interview he did with Nina Power. He's just popping off dumb shit, dude. It's just stupid. It's actually just stupid shit. And like talking about game and how he has to be a high status male so he can get the chicks, and how he has to do Adderall so that he can get the high status chicks because he's IQ, dude. And it's just cringe. It's cringe. It's just, you guys are fucking losers. Okay. And the people who are over here trying to be like,
you don't have to be.
You don't have to be. This is a treatable malady, everybody. But you just need to take notes when